I want to work passing the half guard, which is, it's something that I think it's definitely a fundamental thing, but I didn't feel confident passing half guard probably until brown belt. I always used to know that the really good guys, when they get you in half guard, you're pretty much stuffed. But when I got it on top, I always used to feel like my balance was poor, and it's taken me a long time to actually develop good ability to pass through here. But let's go through some really common things. I think the other thing for like half guard and any of these really slow sort of guards, I think some things you learn really well through drilling, and other things are a bit more feel based. I feel like half guard, it's a real slow game. It's not so sequential. It really is like you're kind of stuck there. You're just trying to maintain your controls, and you know, when the next one opens up, you take the next one. So I feel like it is something that you want to learn a lot more just by feel and experiencing, trying to control each grip that you've got. So we'll probably try and structure a little bit around that, mainly because Kid's here actually. But anyway, just keeping him happy. All right. So first and one of the most common problems you'll come against is the knee shield. It's definitely one of the most common questions I get. How do I deal with this? So if Mikhail's doing well, he's going to put this leg in front of me, and anytime I try to pressure and squash Mikhail flat on his back, he's using this to keep my pressure away. Okay. Now, you can stop that by not going into half guard once that's there, or once it's there, you can start trying to deal with it. Okay. Obviously, it's better if I entered into half guard and had that leg blocked with my arm, so when he tries to put the knee shield in, it's difficult. The way I do that, I reach like over the side of the ribs, and I use my forearm and elbow. Okay, so use your leg. I can track it here like this. A lot of people underhook too deep, and it lets the person go down and underneath. Get your knee shield here, or underhook, or even just knee shield here. Okay. Similarly, my hand here is going to collapse over the top. You kind of want to go a little bit to the side of the ribs and flare your elbow like that. Second thing, when you do beat the knee shield, don't leave this big gap that I've got right now while I'm talking to you, because here is where he can work to get, if he like clears my arm for a moment, that goes back in. I want to have my hips close. So even if I lose my arm like this, he still can't get that knee shield in front of my body. All right. So one way I like to deal with this, he's got the knee shield in. I put my hand on the hip, and I reach underneath this near leg. I'm going to start to walk Mikhail a little bit more square and flat onto his back. Okay. Here, he can't use this leg nearly as well as a knee shield as he can when he's a little bit on his side. Okay. So trying to pressure through here is really difficult. So what I'm going to do, I reach underneath this leg to help turn his hips. And once we're here, I can either bring my elbow over the top or my forearm through and gain control. And then we're going to come back. Okay. So again, we're here like this. My left hand, I like to hook under here like this. I don't like to grab like that because you're going to get kimura. Yeah? So I hook all the way underneath, grabbing the top of the thigh like this. You can rest your elbow on your knee, on your thigh to get extra power here. My right hand blocks the hip. So I'm trying to square Mikhail up like this. Okay, again, once his hips are square, his knee can do this. When he's facing me, now it can block me a lot better. All right, so we're here, reaching underneath the leg, and we'll walk, stand up on your feet a little, keep your hips low. Don't let this leg recover to guard, and you're gonna swing your elbow over the top, and we've got a hand on the rib. From here, actually we're gonna pass through half guard, so we won't go to knee cut. We're just gonna come back down to our knees and go chest to chest, here like this, okay? Once more. Here like this, we're going to reach underneath, come across, bring your elbow inside, and we're going to come back down to our knees, pinching our legs on the top leg just to start. Alright, I want you to do that, but I want you to do it with a little bit of like light resistance from your partner. Okay, so just practicing this one thing. They're trying to be annoying and keep their knee shield in. You're trying to get past the knee shield and get chest to chest, here like this. If you can do it straight away, go for it. Alright, let's go just 2 minutes each on that. 3, 2, 1. That's one way you can beat the knee shield, which is this top leg. But that's not the only leg I have to worry about. The bottom leg is just as important. If I don't deal with that at all, you're just going to take that leg out and he gets back to close guard. Okay? So while we were trying to deal with this, you'll notice I hooked like this. This is going to stop. For Mikhail to recover his leg, he has to pull his foot towards his knee towards his chest, and then he's got room to retract his foot. And you'll see the way I'm gripping here, I'm pulling down and back towards my hip. So when Mikhail tries to pull that knee to his chest, it's stuck. That way when I come in and he tries to here, like I'm even at more risk of him recovering, it's hard to do. I'm squatting low, so there's a little gap to get through, and then I can get my arm in. And then when I go back, we pin the leg, and straight away I pinch the leg between my knees. All right. Just for the moment, we're going to assume he didn't defend very well at all with his hands, and I managed to get chest to chest here. And I've got a cross-face and underhook, for example, which is a really good grips for me. I have to worry a lot about this leg coming back in. I'm not extremely worried right now about the knee shield. This left leg's, as long as I stay low, is taken care of. But this leg, he can get that leg back in front and recover back to guard. So immediately, once we get chest to chest, I'm going to switch my hips and pinch my knees together like this. Okay, try and get that leg back. Okay, so you have to be like this, and the pressure is me trying to do, I'm trying to do that motion, but you'll see there's no movement because his leg's stuck there. So when I do that, it's just a constant pressure like this, like literally pinching the leg in to be stuck. Now, when you do this, stay on your side and see my left foot. At first, you'll probably be tempted to leave it straight. You're going to get bridged over, okay? So Mikhail bridges to his right. I have no balance on this side, so I have to keep my leg back and active with my toes if possible. So now when Mikhail bridges, so it's a weird posture, but I'm still putting that pinching pressure with my legs, even though my foot's back and on the mat here like this. All right. The second thing, so Mikhail's going to be bridging and trying to move around and move me left or right, because anything's going to help him, okay? You need to control the position, but not lose your base. So as Mikhail, I'll not give any gaps, okay? So if Mikhail moves me, I'll get that length, for example, and I go like this, I've just given him an underhook, which he can take. And now when he comes back, he starts getting out on his side and escaping. So what I want to do to maintain my control is I use my elbows to control and my hands to post. So here I switch my base, my elbow is tight against the hip, he goes to, just so everyone can see, Mikhail goes to post, and I'll put my hand out like that, but my elbow doesn't leave the hip. Again, he might go the other way. I'll keep my shoulder pressured down, so I'm still keeping Mikhail flat so he can't move, but my hand will come out for a second, and then it'll come back, and we maintain control. I think this is where I used to go wrong a lot. I used to think, I'm in half guard, I need to stay connected, and I'd go, duh, and then I've got no base. So then he'd either bridge me and get on top, or because I've trapped myself, if I do recover, it's like this, and I give a big amount of space. So it's actually better to be a little bit loose, have tight control with your elbows, but have your hands ready to post and control. So our next little drill we're gonna do 3 minutes on top, 3 minutes on bottom. You're going to start with the leg, switch your hips and pinch. Mikhail's got to try to off balance me, so bridge me over, or get that bottom leg back. If he gets that bottom leg back in front, I lose. I've got to try and stay on top. Just controlling, not even upgrading position, just trying to control from here, okay? Make sense? All right, 3, 2, 1. Last thing that I wanted to cover, another really common problem when we're trying to get through the half guard is going to be the frame. So let's assume we've controlled the legs enough, at least to here, but Mikhail's hands are blocking me like this, okay? Now, you never will just, no matter how strong you are, you'll never just straight out drive through someone's skeletal strength. So if Mikhail's doing that, I'm not going to beat him by doing this, okay? He can hold me off for a long time, and it's a lot of energy on my part. So with any frame, he's really strong if I just go direct at it, but if I just go on a slight angle, usually they're really weak because they've got a long lever that they've created, okay? So one thing you can do, you're here, you'll see you guys do this a lot, they kind of drop their hips low and start to pressure the chest forward. So now my force is in this direction, okay? And now he started to lose the control he had on my arm, and we go through. You be a little bit creative with these guys. He could be, like, Mikhail's pushing a lot on my left shoulder. So I could be here, and I just let the left shoulder go as my right shoulder will drop, okay? I've lost my leg a little bit, so I have to go back to that, but I've beaten the frame, okay? Sometimes you'll circle inside, and you'll beat the frame like that, and you can pick up the elbow. Sometimes you even go backwards, okay? So Mikhail's pushing a lot here. Sometimes I want to release this and come under. I can sort of block it so his arms can't follow me. I come back, and then I come underneath and forward like that, okay? So I want you to just, this time, the person's just going to block you. You have to find a way around their arms, all right? Once you get to find a way around the arms, once you get chest to chest, we're just going to go to mount, okay? So what you're going to do, free your knee, drive it to the mat, open up some space, and free your leg towards mount like that. I'm not going to go over that part too technically. We can go over that another time. So I want you to focus mostly on the frame, but just once you beat the frame, just finish with an attack to mount, okay? So we're here. Start with the legs controlled, okay? So start like this, yeah? Not like this, because now there's a lot of frames. This is a frame as well that I have to deal with. Okay, we've beaten that frame. Start from here. Mikhail's annoying with his hands. I have to try and get past, okay? 3, 2, let's say Mikhail's pushing my head up. Some people kind of like do this, right? And when you get caught here, you kind of don't always want to, like, you don't feel like, maybe push up with that and he's blocking my crossface too, yeah? So I can't go to a crossface underhook scenario here, okay? I can definitely move this way still, but it's going to be a switch-based half guard, and this is not the best for passing, especially no-gi. It's really hard for me to face him again to get past from here. You still can do it, but generally, if they're blocking this crossface and they're here, I'll tend to try to work underhook and start to bring my head out on this side, okay? So I'm going to bring my Mikhail's framing. I'm going to go underhook, basically by grabbing the shoulder, chest forward, and start to sprawl out like this. You'll see I've taken my leg out, my leg that was controlling this bottom leg, I've taken it off. Do you think he can get his guard back? Easily. What's making it hard is I'm actually like sprawled on it. All my weight's on that bottom leg. So you have to put your weight on that leg, okay? If you go over here and do it like this, straight away they'll put you back into guard. So you actually have to like drop your hips and be heavy on that leg. It's really hard for him to move his knee in. If they start, okay, never let that leg come back though. So if you feel like you're losing your control, you're gonna have to use this arm to then push and adjust yourself a bit further out to get there again, okay? So sometimes you use that, but I'd rather not. I'd rather have this arm ready to start controlling other grips, okay? So if I've got everything right, I'm not gonna keep holding on that leg. I'm gonna start using this arm to pick up his bottom arm, okay? So again, we're here. I've beaten the line of the knees, we're here, but he's framing really hard and blocked my crossface. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna redirect. I'll kill the frame by moving this way. As you can see that, his frame works really well to stop me going straight at him. But when I turn and sprawl like this, I've killed the frame, okay? Now, as I said, I've controlled that bottom leg. My next aim is to pick up this arm, okay? Right at the elbow, like this. My biggest risk right now is actually that Mikhail keeps turning in towards me and he pummels this underhook back through, yeah? Okay? So, it's kind of hard for me to just stop that. If I put my head down, this definitely helps. And sorry, my head's up because I'm talking, but when I do this, my head's usually down. It makes it harder for him to do that. But still, like, give him enough time and he'll find room to get that arm back, okay? What stops him from turning like that is actually picking up this arm and pulling the arm as tight as possible across your chest, like that. So I'm kind of like sprawled. Turn in now, Mikhail. Get your arm back. Yes. So head down, pulling on this arm really tight. From here, let's do a pretty common pass. I'm going to walk so I've still got to obviously worry about this leg coming back in, but when I step my left foot to here, to pinch again, now I don't have to worry about that. Okay, I've got my underhook, and I've got this arm controlled. from here, I'm going to start to walk my hips tall, like this. Hold on to my leg. And I'm going to like shake to start trying to free my knee. Now, if you need to, this foot can come down and stomp, or you can use your shin. Okay, go back again. Or you can go like this. I actually prefer the stomp to the shin. I'm going to push until I free my foot, and we can go towards mount, or we can go off to the side. Okay. So once again, we're here in half guard. I'm trying to cross face an underhook. He's blocking that really well, but I've got the underhook side down well. So I'm going to drive forward, collapse his frame here, put my head tight, and grab this arm. All my weight sprawled on the bottom leg. If you're losing that leg, push it and trap it again. If you need to, you can even pinch your knees a bit, but you lose a little bit of your balance. Okay, so we're here. From here, Mikhail's just holding on really tight. My left leg now pinches above his leg. I'm going to walk my feet nice and tall. All my weight now is going through his head. It's not fun. It's through my shoulder and through his chin. Okay, left foot then stomps on the leg until I can free it, and we can drop our hips here and stabilize. Right. Small. Mount's the other option. All right, let's have a go. 4 minutes each, 3, 2. So guys, with that one in particular, don't lift your, like, to do this, you have to lift your hips really high, right? Don't do this unless you got really good upper body control, because they will just recover. So if I don't control that elbow, for example, and I do this, it's easy for Mikhail to just push my hips and recover. I'm working in a real narrow space here. Yeah, I just wouldn't do it if that's the case. So another option, which I like a lot too, you see Marcelo Garcia uses this really well. From here, I keep the same grips, but I'm going to try to like get Mikhail's, like we did before, get Mikhail's leg as flat as possible, but I also want to like walk like up and in a bit of a circle in this direction. To get as much room as possible, be able to step my foot on the leg here. So I'm almost going to do the same thing, but from sideways, okay? So when we're here, I'm holding the arm again, tight to the chest, and I'm going to bring my foot here to the leg. Now, you'll find this difficult, yeah? So Mikhail's locked his half guard. It took me ages to get the right angle to get my foot, to learn how to do this, because if I just start here, and it's like really hard to get the leg, I really have to like go chest to chest and start to walk, like sprawling out with my hip and driving my hip forward, okay? Now that it's pinned, you pin the leg, and as I move, his leg's kind of stuck on the ground, so I can make some good angles relative to his leg, okay? Keep your legs locked. Okay, so I'm then gonna go here. I put my knee down, and I actually wanna like sprawl my hips down too. And then it's just slowly, exactly the same thing we just did. I'm kicking, and I'm freeing my knee at the same time, okay? Especially with these sort of ones, immediately when you pass, because I've got such a high underhook with this, I'm not controlling the hips very well. So I'm really worried about Mikhail hip escaping and getting his legs back in front of me. Okay, so as soon as I pass, I have to be ready for the hip escape. The way I counter that is I keep walking back towards him now. So now that I'm outside the leg, he goes to hip escape, go. And I have to follow his hips this way, okay? If I stay out here, he'll hip out and get back. So it's counterintuitive because you think you've got to run away from the hip escape and keep going this way. But this actually gives him a lot of room to turn and get the legs back in. I want to kill his legs by staying attached to the hip. If I stay attached to the hip, the legs don't come in front. Okay, so once more. We get to the same position, we'll do it from the start. Kyle's framing here like this, and we switch. We get our position. I've sprawled on the leg. I start to walk in this like clock sort of motion, and I get my foot to the knee. If you can't get that, you can put your hook over. This works well too, okay? But this is better. Sprawl your hips low. Hold my leg, Mikhail, as tight as you can. Slowly, we're gonna free. Straight away now, I'm worried about the hip escape, so I'm gonna keep my hips attached to Mikhail's hips. ideally turn him away, and then we consolidate the pass. All right, let's have a go. 3, 2, 1. Because I'm remembering back to when I first started to do it. So I used to watch Marcelo Garcia do this, and then I found it really hard to replicate it. And the thing is, like, you get this. My weight's got to be like all the way off Mikhail. So I'm basically like if I didn't hold this arm, Mikhail would just get up. Yeah, it would be a little bit difficult because I got an underhook, but essentially he should be able to get up. So I need to, if we go back, the whole idea is when I just like pull tight on this tricep here and put my weight down, Mikhail can't get up because he needs to retract that arm to get up. Okay, so as soon as you start trying to do this with your weight on them, like this, okay, I lock my legs, and I start trying to like look for this. Can you see where my balance is? If it just tilts me a little bit to the right, I'll fall over and I'll get swept. Okay, so that's the dangerous direction. That's the way I don't want to go, to my right. Here, there's not a lot of, I'm not really worried about a lot of things. I'm not worried about Mikhail getting up while I'm holding this. Okay, if he tried, to be honest, if I've got this arm and he really tried to just get up to his feet, he's probably just going to give me the pass. Okay, get up. Yeah, thank you. So it's really in his interest to just kind of clamp onto your leg and start hoping you give a little gap. So while I'm here, that's where I start to walk and pressure. Okay. A few people having trouble getting the underhook from the start, I saw. So if we're here, let's say you've got that like a little bit bent, like that, or that's keeping a little bit tight, and I want to switch to the underhook. I have to make sure my shoulder gets underneath the elbow to get an effective underhook here. So if I go like this and go there, I'm basically giving Mikhail an underhook. So I'm gonna have to go like kind of like drop my shoulder down, and then I want to like put his elbow over his head, like that. Yeah, this is going to be hard for him to recover. Sometimes you do these passes like, you know, if you get their arm trapped there, like you can't actually bring it to the other side now at all because his head's in the way. So this is even better sometimes when I can do the same thing.